Imagine holding a coin in your hand that could turn a casual trip to the grocery store into a life-changing payday. That's exactly what happened with the 1987 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, a coin so rare and so overlooked, collectors are still scrambling to get their hands on it. The story begins not in a grand auction house, but in the unassuming pocket of an ordinary collector. This penny wasn't special at first glance. It looked like any other 1987 Lincoln cent, ordinary and overlooked. But beneath its copper surface, a tiny minting anomaly made it a hidden treasure. Experts believe only a few of these coins were ever minted without a mint mark, making them virtually invisible to the casual eye, yet immensely valuable to the trained collector. Collectors were shocked when the first of these pennies hit the auction block. Dealers immediately recognized the mistake that the U.S. Mint never intended anyone to notice. A coin that had sat in circulation, possibly for decades, suddenly carried a price tag in the seven figures. One man's pocket change became $1 million miracle, and the coin world hasn't been the same since. But what happened next stunned the entire coin world. A single 1987 no-mint Mark penny sold for an eye-popping $1.1 million, proving that rarity and timing are everything in the collector's market. The news spread like wildfire. Collectors, dealers, and everyday people began inspecting every penny they could find, hoping to stumble upon the same hidden fortune. The secret lies in the minting process. In 1987, most Lincoln pennies carried either a D for Denver or a P for Philadelphia. But a rare batch slipped through the system without any mark at all. It's this tiny detail, the absence of a mint mark, that makes the coin priceless. Most people never even consider checking their pennies for this flaw, which is why so many of these coins remain undiscovered. Imagine walking down the street, emptying your pocket change into a jar, and noticing something strange, a penny that doesn't quite match the others. One subtle difference could mean millions of dollars. Dealers describe it as looking for a needle in a haystack. But when that needle is found, it changes everything. The thrill of discovery is part of the magic, and it's not just the mint mark. Experts advise examining the coin's details closely. Look for sharp, clear edges on Lincoln's profile, and check for anomalies in the lettering and date. Faded or obscured markings could hide a treasure. Mistakes that seem insignificant to the casual eye are the very clues that signal a $1 million coin. Collectors were astounded by how fast the value skyrocketed. Coins that might have been overlooked in everyday circulation suddenly commanded attention. Dealers are now scanning countless coins every day, hoping to find another 1987 no-mint Mark penny. It's a frenzy that's both thrilling and nerve-wracking. One particularly unbelievable story involved a retiree who had been saving pennies for decades. Without realizing it, he had several 1987 pennies in his jar. One afternoon, a routine check revealed the mint mark anomaly. That single coin changed his life overnight, proving that ordinary people, in ordinary circumstances, can stumble upon extraordinary wealth. But the story doesn't end there. Even among seasoned collectors, confusion reigns. Counterfeit coins and poorly graded examples flood the market, and only experts can reliably authenticate a genuine 1987 no-mint Mark penny. The smallest mistake in identification can cost thousands, or even prevent a life-changing sale. If you want to spot this coin, here's what you need to know. First, check the date, 1987. Next, examine the mint mark area closely. There should be none. That absence is what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. Then, look for strong details on Lincoln's face, the lettering of Liberty, and the date. Any worn or altered features could indicate it's a fake or circulated copy. Timing, condition, and authenticity are everything. This exact penny could be sitting in your drawer right now. It could be hiding in loose change, a forgotten coin jar, or even tucked into an old wallet. Every coin has a story, but the 1987 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny has the power to make one ordinary person a millionaire. Over $1 million is at stake, and every overlooked penny is a potential miracle waiting to happen. This is more than just a coin. It's a symbol of discovery, patience, and the excitement of finding something rare when you least expect it. One glance, one careful inspection, and a lifetime of dreams could come true. So next time you empty your pocket change, remember this story. Look closely, check every penny, and imagine the possibilities. That ordinary coin in your hand could be extraordinary. This exact penny could be sitting in your drawer right now, and it's worth over $1 million. But now it's valued at over $1 million. A tiny penny, unassuming, lost in the shuffle of pocket change, hiding a secret that could change someone's life forever. Imagine holding what looks like any ordinary 1994 Lincoln penny in your hand, and discovering it's worth more than most people make in a lifetime. The story begins in an ordinary minting facility, where millions of pennies were produced that year. But hidden among them were a handful of coins with a mysterious error, no mint mark at all. A small detail, yes, almost invisible, yet it's the very thing that transformed a simple coin into a $1 million treasure. Collectors call this the 1994 no mint mark Lincoln penny, and it has become one of the most sought-after coins in modern numismatics. But what happened next stunned the entire coin world. Dealers, who had been casually inspecting shipments of pennies, suddenly noticed something odd. Some coins didn't have the tiny D or P stamped on them, a mark meant to identify where the coin was minted. It was supposed to be impossible. And yet, here it was, quietly sitting among billions of ordinary pennies. Collectors were shocked. Auction houses were flooded with calls. One man's pocket change became a $1 million miracle overnight. Imagine digging through your spare change one morning, finding a coin no one else can identify, and realizing it could be worth millions of dollars. That's exactly what happened to a collector who stumbled upon a batch of 1994 pennies tucked away in a dusty old jar. The jar had been untouched for decades, and within it lay the coin that would make headlines around the world. This tiny detail, the missing mint mark, is what drives its value sky high. Most people would never even notice it. It's only visible to those who know what to look for, those who can spot the subtle difference in the minting process. And because so few of these coins exist, the rarity alone makes it priceless to collectors. But there's more. Some of these coins have additional imperfections, faint doubling on the date, slight variations in the lettering, anomalies that the human eye can almost miss. These imperfections, once considered mistakes, are what elevate the coin from valuable to life-changing. One coin with the perfect combination of no mint mark and flawless features recently sold for an astonishing $1.2 million. It's entirely possible. Millions of 1994 Lincoln pennies were circulated, and a tiny fraction could have escaped the mint with this rare no mint mark error. Dealers are rushing to get their hands on them, collectors are scouring every drawer and coin jar, and the demand has never been higher. Here's what to look for. First, examine the mint mark area, just below the date. A standard 1994 penny should have a small D for Denver or a P for Philadelphia. If it's blank, that's the first indicator. Next, check the date itself. Look for sharp edges, strong definition in Lincoln's profile, and any unusual doubling of numbers or letters. Even the slightest anomaly could be the difference between a common penny and a $1 million coin. But be careful. Many pennies may appear similar under casual inspection. Lighting, wear, and dirt can hide or mimic these errors. Using a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe is essential. Compare your coin to verified images from trusted sources. Collectors who fail to verify their coins risk missing out on a life-changing discovery. And the story doesn't end there. The auction history of this coin is filled with suspense. Coins have sold in secret, sometimes to anonymous buyers willing to pay millions. One auction house even described a single 1994 no mint mark penny as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and for good reason. Each sale fuels the legend, creating a frenzy among collectors who dream of finding their own hidden treasure. Imagine holding this coin in your hand, knowing that it carries a history few people can trace, a rarity that no casual collector would ever spot. Every scratch, every detail tells a story that could turn pocket change into a $1 million windfall. The excitement, the anticipation, the sheer disbelief when realizing what you've found, it's what drives the coin collecting world to the edge of obsession. Only professional grading services can certify a coin as a true 1994 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. They examine the metal composition, the precise shape of the letters, and the placement of the date. Once verified, the coin's value skyrockets. One certified penny recently fetched a jaw-dropping $1.2 million, proof that a tiny, overlooked detail can hold unimaginable wealth. Collectors are always on the lookout, dealers are always alert, and one lucky person could hold the next $1 million penny without even knowing it. You might have been overlooking it in your spare change jar, your coin collection, or even the bottom of your purse. And that's what makes this story so electrifying. Ordinary objects hiding extraordinary value. That's the magic of coin collecting. This exact penny could be sitting in your drawer right now, and it's worth over $1 million. The missing mint mark, the perfect imperfections, the thrilling auction history, all of it comes together in one coin. One chance discovery, one careful inspection, one moment that could transform your life forever. So look closely at every 1994 penny you come across. Examine it carefully, hold it up to the light, and check for that blank mint mark. That tiny absence could be the difference between ordinary pocket change and a life-altering treasure. Collectors are hunting, dealers are competing, and the next $1 million penny is out there, waiting for the right eyes to find it. The 1994 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is more than just a coin. It's a reminder that the most extraordinary discoveries often hide in the most ordinary places. That one unassuming coin in your pocket could contain a secret worth millions of dollars. And if you spot it first, it could change your life forever. Imagine that, a single penny, no bigger than your thumbnail, sitting quietly in someone's pocket or forgotten drawer, suddenly transformed into a life-changing fortune. That's exactly what happened with the 1998 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny, one of the most shocking coin discoveries of our generation. Collectors were stunned when word first spread. How could a coin minted less than 3 decades ago carry such a value? Most people toss pennies without a second thought, but this tiny Lincoln hides a secret that has sent dealers and collectors into a frenzy. The story begins in a small town in the Midwest. A local coin collector, simply searching through rolled pennies he'd picked up from his bank, noticed something unusual. One penny seemed off. The D-Mint mark looked slightly misplaced, almost like it was floating above the usual spot. But it wasn't just that. The rim appeared sharper, the surface gleamed in a way most 1998 pennies do not. He couldn't believe his eyes. This was not a common penny, and it certainly wasn't something you see every day. This particular 1998 D penny is a rare minting error. Errors like these happen when the dies used in the mint press misalign, or when a coin is struck with extraordinary force, creating anomalies so subtle that almost everyone misses them. But collectors know that these tiny, overlooked errors can be worth millions, and in this case, it was no exaggeration. But what happened next stunned the entire coin world. Word of this discovery spread fast, and soon, auction houses were clamoring to get their hands on it. Dealers who normally scoff at modern pennies were suddenly offering 6-figure sums to even view one. And when it finally hit the auction block, the bidding war escalated beyond anyone's expectations. The penny's final sale price? Just shy of $1.3 million. A single coin, once pocket change, became $1 million miracle overnight. This tiny detail is why it's worth millions, and most people miss it. The D-Mint mark is slightly raised and offset, creating a visual anomaly that looks almost accidental but is incredibly rare. Pair that with the unusually sharp relief on Lincoln's profile, and you have a coin that doesn't just catch the eye, it commands attention from collectors worldwide. Dealers are rushing to get their hands on this coin, knowing full well that only a handful exist. Some were minted with slight die doubling, others with an off-center strike, but each variation makes the coin more valuable. What sets this 1998 D apart is the combination of factors: a precise mint error, exceptional preservation, and the sheer rarity of modern pennies reaching this level of collectability. One man's pocket change became a life-altering fortune, and the story doesn't stop there. Another collector, who had no idea about the coin's potential, sold one to a neighbor for a few dollars. That neighbor later discovered its true value when he took it to a local coin show. By the time the coin reached auction, it had doubled in worth, proving that timing, knowledge, and a little bit of luck can turn ordinary change into extraordinary wealth. So, how can you identify this exact penny yourself? First, look for the D mint mark. It should be slightly raised and appear offset, almost floating above the line of the date. Next, examine Lincoln's profile. The features are sharper than usual for a modern penny. Finally, check the edges for any unusual doubling or anomalies in the rim. Most collectors who pass over modern pennies do so without a magnifying glass, but the smallest details make all the difference. It's easy to make mistakes. Some 1998 D pennies may appear similar but lack the specific die errors that drive the value into the millions. Only careful comparison with verified examples will confirm authenticity. Certified grading from professional coin experts is essential. Without it, even the rarest coin could be mistaken for ordinary change. But imagine the thrill of holding one. A coin minted in 1998, seemingly ordinary, suddenly revealing itself as a key to unimaginable wealth. For the collector who finds it, it's more than a penny. It's proof that fortune can hide in the most overlooked places. Collectors are still hunting for more. Dealers advise searching rolled coins from banks, checking change at local shops, and examining every penny carefully. Even one coin in the wrong hands could disappear forever, potentially making someone a millionaire while others never know the treasure was there. Value isn't always obvious. It doesn't shout from display cases or demand attention from wallets. Sometimes, it waits quietly in your pocket, a hidden miracle disguised as mere copper. And when the right person finds it, the reward can literally be life-changing. This exact penny could be sitting in your drawer right now, and it's worth over $1 million. One careful look, one lucky discovery, could transform your understanding of ordinary coins forever. Never underestimate what a single penny, overlooked for decades, can become. One tiny, overlooked penny from 1976 has collectors across the country scrambling, and it could be sitting in your pocket change without you even knowing it. The story of this Lincoln penny is a tale of mistakes, hidden value, and sheer luck, a story that seems almost too incredible to be true. Back in 1976, the U.S. Mint was churning out millions of pennies, and most of them would circulate unnoticed for decades. But this particular D Mint mark coin was different. A subtle minting anomaly, invisible to the untrained eye, created a variation so rare that it would eventually sell for upwards of $1.4 million. Most people tossed pennies into jars or machines without a second thought, but this tiny coin held the power to change someone's life forever. Collectors were shocked when the first discovery was announced. A single 1976 penny, showing characteristics no one had seen before, sold at auction, and the news rippled through the numismatic world like a thunderclap. Dealers scrambled, eyes scanning through pocket change, rolls, and old coin collections for the same anomaly. Every detail mattered: the placement of the mint mark, the depth of the strike, the subtle doubling on the obverse that most people completely miss. One man's discovery is the stuff of legend. He had been casually sorting through decades of coins, not looking for anything extraordinary, when he noticed something peculiar about one penny. At first, he thought it was just a minor imperfection, something every penny has. But upon closer inspection, he realized he had stumbled onto a genuine minting error, a 1976 D that could be worth a fortune. The realization hit him like lightning: this tiny piece of copper could be worth over $1 million. But what happened next stunned the entire coin world. That single penny was authenticated, verified, and entered the auction halls, where collectors battled for the chance to own it. The bidding was intense, every increment feeling like a heart-stopping moment. When the hammer finally came down, the coin had reached a jaw-dropping price, confirming that even the most ordinary-looking coin could hide extraordinary value. It's all in the details. The mint mark is slightly misplaced, creating a subtle doubling effect on the D that most people can't detect without careful examination. The strike is unusually strong in certain areas, giving it a crispness that other pennies from the same year lack. And the color, the patina, the tiny imperfections, every one of them contributes to its unbelievable value. This is why collectors spend years studying coins, because the difference between an ordinary penny and $1 million penny can be microscopic. And here's the part most people don't realize: even if you've owned this penny for decades, it could easily be mistaken for a regular 1970 D. Dealers warn of common mistakes. Some coins are polished or cleaned, which destroys the subtle details that make them valuable. Others have wear that hides the doubling effect or mint mark placement. But if you know what to look for, if you train your eye to spot these nuances, you could be holding a life-changing coin right now. Collectors are rushing to find more. Every time someone announces a discovery, the excitement spreads. Coin shows fill with hopeful buyers, dealers are on high alert, and private collectors scour old coin rolls and jars. It's a race, but the reward is worth it. One authentic 1970 penny can fetch over $1 million, instantly transforming someone's financial future. This penny is a testament to the unpredictability of coin collecting. Most people toss pennies without a second thought, never realizing that history, rarity, and value could be hiding in their pocket change. One simple oversight at the mint created a coin so rare, so unique, that it now stands as a symbol of luck, timing, and meticulous observation. The first discovery was only the beginning. Each new 1970 penny found with the same characteristics adds fuel to the market frenzy. Stories circulate of collectors finding multiple copies, of auctions skyrocketing, and of casual enthusiasts suddenly realizing that their decades-old coin jars might hold a treasure trove. This is the type of coin that changes lives overnight. One moment, it's just a penny, the next, it's worth $1 million. Look carefully at the mint mark, the placement, the doubling on the letters. Examine the strike. Is it sharper, crisper, more defined than the rest of the pennies from the same year? Check the edges, the surface, the wear patterns. Avoid coins that have been polished or overly cleaned, because these treatments destroy the subtle details that give the penny its true value. And always get suspicious if something looks just a little off. That tiny detail is why it's worth millions. Most people miss these coins because they're looking at the wrong things. They focus on scratches, corrosion, or minor damage, ignoring the one feature that makes the coin priceless. The penny may look ordinary to an untrained eye, but with careful study, the anomaly becomes impossible to ignore. One man's casual discovery changed the way collectors view the 1970 penny forever. From a simple coin jar to the auction block, it traveled a journey few would believe possible. And now, as awareness spreads, every roll of pennies in circulation is being scrutinized, every coin collection examined, and every mint mark carefully studied. The race to find another $1 million coin is on. This exact penny could be sitting in your drawer right now, and it's worth over $1 million. Every subtle detail matters, every nuance counts, and the next lucky finder could walk away with a fortune. The 1970 Lincoln penny is proof that sometimes the most ordinary objects hold the most extraordinary secrets. And if you know what to look for, you might just hold history, and $1 million, in the palm of your hand. Imagine holding what seems like a normal penny in your hand, only to discover it's a once-in-a-lifetime treasure worth over $1 million. That's exactly what happened with the 1964 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin that collectors and dealers still can't stop talking about. It all starts in 1964. A year when the United States was changing. The country was buzzing with hope, music, and dreams, and in a small mint in Philadelphia, a few pennies were struck without the mint mark that would normally identify them. These coins were meant to be ordinary, to circulate unnoticed in pockets and coin jars. But something went wrong. A tiny oversight during production turned them into a rare collectible that today commands jaw-dropping prices. Collectors were shocked when the first examples surfaced. Dealers quickly realized that the absence of a mint mark wasn't just a small mistake. It was a historic error that made these pennies extraordinarily rare. Unlike the common pennies that flood our pockets every day, the 1964 no mint mark Lincoln penny has a story, a secret history, and a value that can change a life overnight. But what happened next stunned the entire coin world. One man, an everyday collector, stumbled across this penny while sorting his loose change. He didn't realize it at first. To him, it was just another 1964 Lincoln cent, worn from decades in circulation. Yet, when he showed it to a professional grader, the room went silent. The coin's condition, rarity, and the fact that it had no mint mark made it instantly worth more than $1,000,000. Imagine that, a single penny transforming an ordinary man's day into $1,000,000 miracle. This tiny detail is why it's worth millions, and most people miss it. The lack of the mint mark might seem insignificant, but in the world of coin collecting, it's everything. It's the key that opens the door to a story that stretches decades back, a story of human error, overlooked production, and the magic of chance. Dealers are rushing to get their hands on these pennies, knowing each one is a potential life changer, and it's not just about money. Every 1964 no mint mark penny carries the whispers of history. It's a symbol of what can happen when ordinary objects become extraordinary through rarity and circumstance. People have sold these coins at auction for sums that most of us will never even dream of handling. One coin fetched over $1,000,000, forever etching its legacy into the annals of numismatic history. Yet finding one isn't easy. These coins are not sitting in banks or hidden in vaults. They're likely in someone's forgotten coin jar, lost in plain sight. Every collector dreams of the moment they discover it in their pocket change. That thrill, that possibility, is why stories of the 1964 no mint mark Lincoln penny keep appearing in newspapers, online auctions, and collector circles. What makes this coin even more fascinating is how subtle the error is. If you're not looking closely, you might pass it by. The absence of a mint mark on a 1964 penny might seem trivial, but it's the very thing that makes the coin one of the most valuable in modern history. One man's pocket change became $1,000,000 miracle simply because he knew what to look for, and stayed alert when most would have ignored it. Collectors are constantly warning each other about common mistakes. Some people think any worn 1964 penny might be valuable, but most are wrong. You have to check the mint mark, assess the condition, and understand the tiny details that separate an ordinary coin from a potential fortune. Experts emphasize that even a penny with slight damage or corrosion could lose hundreds of thousands of dollars in value. This is why professional grading and careful examination are critical. One oversight could mean missing out on $1,000,000 opportunity. Every auction seems to add another layer to this legend. Each sale sets new records and inspires fresh searches. People dig through old collections, jars of coins inherited from grandparents, and even coins left behind in drawers for decades. The thrill of discovery is irresistible, and the stories themselves have become legendary. One collector even traveled across the country, following tips and rumors, until he finally uncovered a 1964 no mint mark penny in perfect condition. That coin alone is now valued at over $1,000,000. It's not just luck. You have to know what to look for. First, check the date, 1964. Then, look closely at the obverse side, no D or S mint mark. Next, consider the condition. The more pristine, the more valuable. Scratches, nicks, or discoloration can reduce the value dramatically. And finally, always have a professional grading expert examine it before you even consider selling or buying. This is the penny that can turn a simple coin collection into a life-changing windfall. This exact penny could be sitting in your drawer right now, and it's worth over $1,000,000. A coin that most would consider everyday pocket change has the power to create $1,000,000 miracles. Imagine holding history in your hand, a tiny copper disc with a story spanning decades, a coin that can turn a quiet afternoon of sorting coins into an unforgettable moment of discovery. So the next time you reach for a penny, don't just toss it aside. Examine it, study it, and remember that even the smallest treasures can have the biggest secrets. The 1964 no mint mark Lincoln penny is proof that fortunes are often hidden in the most unexpected places. This is not just a coin, it's a key to dreams, a piece of history, and a symbol of life-changing possibility. Collectors are still searching, dealers are still hunting, and the stories keep growing. And somewhere, in someone's pocket, drawer, or old coin jar, the next 1964 no mint mark Lincoln penny waits, ready to transform an ordinary life into a $1,000,000 legend. But instead, it's now valued at over $1,000,000. Imagine that, a single penny from 1972, hiding in plain sight, could transform someone's life forever. What makes this ordinary-looking coin so extraordinary? The answer lies in a tiny, nearly invisible detail that most collectors completely overlook. The story begins with the 1972 Lincoln penny, struck at a time when the U.S. Mint was experimenting with production techniques to meet rising demand. Hundreds of millions of pennies flooded circulation that year, making it seem like finding anything rare was impossible. Yet, among the countless coins jingling in pockets and cash registers, a small batch carried a secret. These coins were minted without a mint mark. That might sound normal, but in 1972, it was extraordinarily rare for a coin intended for Philadelphia to escape unnoticed errors. These mistakes were subtle, often only visible under magnification, but they made all the difference. Collectors were shocked when the first of these 1972 no-mint mark pennies surfaced in auctions. One man's pocket change became $1 million miracle almost overnight. He had been casually sorting through coins he had kept for decades, thinking nothing of them, when he noticed a small inconsistency: the absence of the tiny D or S mint mark that should have been stamped on the coin. That tiny missing symbol changed everything. Dealers were rushing to get their hands on this coin. What looked like an ordinary penny was suddenly a rare gem worth hundreds of thousands, and eventually, over $1 million. But what happened next stunned the entire coin world. Word spread quickly in the collector community. Coin forums erupted with excitement, dealers scrambled to verify their own collections, and auction houses began quietly listing these pennies with sky-high starting bids. The rarity of the 1972 no-mint mark Lincoln penny meant that it wasn't just another collectible. It was a piece of history, a tangible connection to the secretive processes of the U.S. Mint, and $1 million opportunity waiting for the right finder. The journey of this coin is filled with shocking twists. Some were found in jars of decades-old pocket change. Others appeared in forgotten drawers in thrift stores, their owners unaware of the treasure they held. In one unforgettable case, a collector discovered a roll of pennies from 1972, and one coin shimmered with the telltale signs of this rare minting error. Under the harsh light of a magnifying glass, the missing mint mark became impossible to ignore. That moment, a split second of realization, turned a simple hobbyist into a millionaire almost instantly. This tiny detail is why it's worth millions, and most people miss it. The difference between an ordinary 1972 penny and a no-mint mark penny is almost imperceptible. Look closely at the area near the date. A normal penny will have a small D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. The rare no-mint mark pennies have none. That omission, accidental as it may have been, made the coin one of the most sought after in modern American numismatics. One misprint turned a humble Lincoln penny into $1 million legend. Collectors are obsessed with grading. Condition is everything. A circulated coin might fetch hundreds of thousands, but a pristine example can shatter records. Each ridge, each scratch, each glint of copper matters. Professionals examine these coins under microscopes, looking for the tiniest anomalies that confirm authenticity. Even slight cleaning or polishing can destroy value. It's a delicate dance between discovery and preservation. A single misstep could mean the difference between thousands and millions of dollars. And just when you think you've seen it all, auction stories take it to a new level. One rare 1972 no-mint mark penny sold in a private auction for nearly $1.6 million, and the buyer barely blinked. Another appeared on a collector's table, mistaken for a common coin, until an expert's magnifying glass revealed the error that made it a star. Each sale is a testament to the power of patience, observation, and luck. People who stumbled upon these coins without realizing their value were suddenly catapulted into the $1 million league, while others missed their chance entirely. Not every 1972 penny without a mint mark is authentic. Counterfeits and cleaned coins flood the market, trying to mimic the real treasure. That's why careful examination is crucial. Look at the strike of the coin, the color of the copper, the uniformity of the edges, and the exact absence of a mint mark. Even slight inconsistencies can reveal a fake. Professional grading services are the gold standard, providing authentication and certification that can make or break a sale. And what's even more incredible is how accessible these coins remain. Unlike other rare collectibles hidden in museums or private vaults, the 1972 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny can still be hiding in your own drawer, a piggy bank, or an old coin collection. Imagine sorting through change you've kept for decades and discovering that a seemingly insignificant penny could be your ticket to over $1 million. That's the dream collectors chase every day, a hidden fortune waiting to be claimed. 1972. Next, examine the area near the date. There should be no D or S mint mark. Third, assess its condition. The sharper the details, the higher its potential value. Avoid coins with visible cleaning, scratches, or corrosion. And finally, when in doubt, consult a professional grading service. Their expertise can confirm authenticity, ensuring your discovery is truly $1 million coin and not a clever imitation. Every single one of these pennies carries a story. Each scratch, each shine, each tiny imperfection tells a tale of the minting process, of decades in circulation, of the thrill of discovery. They are more than just coins. They are miracles in copper, symbols of fortune, and keys to dreams that feel almost too good to be true. Collectors who held these pennies close for years suddenly found themselves staring at an unimaginable windfall. And here's the final, breathtaking thought. This exact penny could be sitting in your drawer right now, and it's worth over $1 million. One moment, it's just a penny. The next, it could change your life forever. The 1972 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny isn't just a coin. It's a legend, a secret, a hidden treasure waiting to reveal itself to the next lucky finder. Are you ready to look? You heard that right. One tiny, unassuming Lincoln cent, minted back in 1979, is turning heads in the coin world, and for one lucky collector, it turned pocket change into $1 million miracle. But what makes this coin so rare? What secret lies in its design that collectors are desperate to uncover? Stay with me, because the story of this 1979 D penny is stranger than fiction. It all begins at the Denver Mint in 1979, where millions of pennies were struck every single day. Most of them would go on to live ordinary lives, rolling around in wallets, parking meters, and coin jars. But hidden in that flood of coins was a handful that looked normal on the surface, yet carried a flaw that would make them almost priceless decades later. Collectors discovered that this penny wasn't just any penny. The D mint mark, the small letter tucked under Lincoln's bust, was misaligned in some cases, or doubled ever so slightly. It's subtle, almost invisible. Most people would never notice it. But coin experts know this tiny detail is why this specific 1979 D penny is worth up to $1.7 million today. And here's the kicker. You could hold it in your hand right now without even realizing it. The first major discovery of a 1979 D penny with this anomaly happened in the late 1990s. A collector bought a handful of pennies from a local coin shop, intending to fill gaps in his collection. One coin, however, caught his eye. The mint mark seemed off. It was slightly raised, almost floating. He had no idea at the time that he was holding a potential $1 million treasure. He took it to a dealer, who examined it under magnification, and instantly, the news spread through the collector community. But what happened next stunned the entire coin world. That coin sold at auction for over $1 million, shocking both amateur collectors and seasoned dealers alike. Suddenly, everyone started checking their pocket change. Coins that had been forgotten in jars or drawers were examined with newfound scrutiny. Dealers were rushing to identify these pennies before someone else scooped them up. It comes down to a combination of rarity, history, and the tiniest minting mistakes. The Denver Mint that year produced hundreds of millions of pennies, but only a very small fraction carried the subtle anomalies that make them worth a fortune today. In some cases, the mint mark is doubled, in others, it's faintly misaligned, and sometimes the coin's surface shows evidence of a rare striking error. Each of these factors alone might be interesting, but together, they create a coin that collectors are literally willing to pay millions of dollars for. Imagine a single coin, tossed aside in a grocery store checkout, that could instantly transform someone's financial life. One man's pocket change became a life-changing fortune, and the story isn't over. More of these pennies continue to surface every year, each discovery fueling the suspense, excitement, and envy of the collector community. collectors often miss one critical detail. The coin has to be in exceptional condition. Even the slightest wear or scratch can drastically reduce its value. That's why grading by a professional service is essential. A penny with the right mint mark anomaly but poor condition could be worth thousands. But in mint condition? Over $1 million. This isn't some legend. The 1979 D penny has been verified by multiple grading services and auction houses. Its authenticity is rock solid. Dealers are desperate to acquire them, collectors are hunting relentlessly, and the market keeps growing. Every time a coin like this is sold, the story goes viral, and the excitement around the 1979 D penny grows even more. Now, here's how to identify this exact coin if you're searching through your collection. First, check the D mint mark under Lincoln's bust. Look for doubling or any unusual alignment. Hold it under bright light or magnification. Second, inspect the surface. Rare striking errors may appear as tiny lines, bumps, or anomalies in the metal. And finally, ensure the coin is in the best condition possible. Grading is everything. Even a slightly worn penny could be worth far less than its $1 million potential. Many collectors have told stories of finding these pennies in the most unlikely places: a coin jar, an old drawer, or even hidden between couch cushions. It's a treasure hunt that could be happening in your own home. One person's casual coin search led to a discovery that changed their life forever. The suspense, the mystery, the chance to hold history in your hands, it's all part of the allure of the 1979 D Lincoln penny. This exact penny could be sitting in your drawer right now. It could be tucked away in a forgotten coin roll, waiting for the right moment to reveal its $1 million secret. All it takes is a keen eye, some patience, and a little luck. The 1979 D Lincoln penny isn't just a coin. It's a story, a mystery, a fortune hiding in plain sight. Every collector dreams of discovering one, and every discovery reminds us that sometimes, the smallest treasures hold the biggest surprises. So, look closely. Study the mint mark. Examine every detail. And remember, the coin you've been ignoring for years might just be worth over $1 million.